how does a smaller army just completely crush a much bigger one? I mean, it seems impossible, right? Well, back in 206 BC, during the Second Punic War, the Battle of Ilipa became the perfect example of how to do just that. This is a story all about mind games, deception, and just pure military brilliance. Yeah, and it's not just me saying it. A lot of military historians look at the incredible career of the Roman general Scipio Africanus, and they point to this battle. This one, right here. They say this was his masterpiece, the absolute pinnacle of his genius. So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How on earth did he pull it off? And we're not just talking about a simple win here. This was a complete and utter annihilation of the enemy force. All right, let's get into it. We're going to break down one of the slickest moves in all of military history. Okay, so before we get to the battle itself, you got to understand what was at stake. We're talking about the Iberian Peninsula, which is basically modern-day Spain. And this place, it was a huge deal. Rome and Carthage were in this massive struggle for control of the area, its resources, its silver, its soldiers, everything. All right, let's just look at the raw numbers here. Scipio, the Roman commander, has 48,000 men. Not bad. But the Carthaginians, they've got a whopping 74,000 troops. Just do the math. That's a difference of more than 25,000 soldiers. So on paper, this should be an open and shut case, right? An easy day for Carthage. So you're Scipio, you're facing these insane odds. What's your move? Attack? Retreat? Nope. He just waits. And for several days, he starts playing these incredible mind games. It's not just about observing the enemy. He's actively training them, conditioning them to expect something. Here's what happened. Every single day, both armies march out, line up for battle, and then nothing. They just stand there, looking at each other. And the really important part is that they always formed up in the exact same way. It became this predictable, boring daily routine. And that's exactly what Scipio wanted. He was lulling the Carthaginians to sleep. And here's what that lineup looked like. Both sides put their absolute best soldiers, their elite troops, right in the center. The idea was that they just smash into each other. Then on the flanks, the sides, they put their weaker Spanish allies. So you've got this perfect mirror image of an army. And day after day, it's the same thing. Scipio was literally teaching his enemy what to expect. So after days of this same old routine, Scipio decides, okay, it's time. But he completely breaks the pattern. He doesn't wait for the usual stare down. Oh no, he gets his men up before sunrise, tells them to eat, get their armor on, and then bam! At the crack of dawn, he attacks. You can just imagine the total chaos in the Carthaginian camp. Alarms are blaring, soldiers are jumping out of their tents, trying to strap on their armor. A lot of them haven't even eaten yet. They're just scrambling out onto the battlefield in a complete panic, trying to get into formation while under attack. So the Carthaginians, they're scrambling, and they automatically fall into their usual formation, right? It's muscle memory at this point. And then they look across the field, and their hearts must have just dropped. Scipio has totally flipped the script. He's reversed his entire line. His weaker troops are in the center, and his absolute best Roman legions, they're on the flanks, staring right at Carthage's weakest soldiers. The trap is officially sprung. And this brilliant move, it's famously called the reverse Cannae. And here's the beautiful irony. Cannae was the battle where Hannibal, Carthage's best general, used a similar trick to crush the Romans years before. Now, Scipio is taking their greatest victory and using it right back at them. Talk about a taste of your own medicine. Okay, so here's how the trap works. It's genius. First, Scipio's super strong legions on the wings just charge forward and completely smash the weak troops facing them. But at the same time, his own weak center troops, they're told to advance really slowly and then actually start backing up. They're deliberately not fighting the Carthaginian elite in the middle. This puts the Carthaginian center in an impossible position. They can't move up to help their friends on the flanks because if they do, they'll be completely surrounded. So once the Roman legions on the sides have totally wrecked the enemy flanks, they don't just chase them off the field. No, they do something much smarter. They perform this incredible wheeling motion, kind of like a swinging door, and turn inwards. And now they're attacking the Carthaginian center, from the sides, from their now totally exposed flanks. It's a perfect pincer movement, a complete encirclement. Just try to put yourself in the shoes of those elite Carthaginian soldiers. You're supposed to be the best of the best, right? But Scipio's strategy has made you a spectator to your own army's destruction. You're totally useless. You're trapped, getting hit from three sides, and all you can do is watch as everyone around you is just getting wiped out. The morale just shatters. The battle is over. Now it's just a slaughter. So the victory itself was, total. But the long-term impact, the strategic fallout, that was somehow even worse for Carthage. This one battle really did change the entire course of the war. And the aftermath was brutal. The Romans chased down the fleeing Carthaginians relentlessly. When all was said and done, get this, over 48,500 Carthaginian soldiers were either killed or captured. Their army didn't just lose, it basically ceased to exist. And on the Roman side, their losses were around 7,000. Just look at that difference. It's staggering. This wasn't just a win. It's one of the most lopsided victories you'll ever see in ancient warfare, and it all came down to one man's incredible plan. And the effect was immediate. It was decisive. The Battle of Ilipa completely and permanently broke Carthage's hold on Spain. After this day, they were basically done there. They could never seriously challenge Rome for control of that territory ever again. The ripple effects were just huge. Think about it. Losing Spain meant that Hannibal, who was still over in Italy causing trouble, was suddenly cut off from his main source of money and new soldiers. So this victory secured Rome's backyard, and crucially, it set the stage for Scipio to eventually invade Carthage's home turf in Africa and end the war once and for all. Which kind of leaves us with this one big question, right? Scipio's victory at Ilipa, it wasn't really won on the day of the fight with swords and spears. It was won in the days leading up to it, with psychology, with routine, with a plan that completely dismantled his enemy's mind. So it really makes you think, is the best plan of all one that defeats your opponent before the fight even starts?